Hello anybody and welcome back to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in today's episode we are starting the final world of the game, KAOS Kore. So as we enter the world, we get to see that it's actually mostly an outside level with the castle at the very end. And we're going to be going in, there's no secret behind that waterfall, we're going to be going in and starting up the first level, Conveyor Rope Clash. Now, as we are in the final world of the game, it is very appropriate that they give us a new level type, which I believe is just called the Jungle level type, which is an interesting type to see for the final world of the game, but I kind of get what they're going for here with, you know, its untamed wilds with a castle hidden at the very heart of it, even though the overworld doesn't necessarily reflect this, and I think they could have changed that to be a little bit better. But as we go through this world, there's going to be some twists on a lot of things we've already seen. For example, even though the last world we did, the previous level we actually played was all about ropes and bees. Well, in a funny way, this level is kind of like a logical extension of that, because yet again, we're mostly dealing with ropes and bees, but now the ropes are like conveyor ropes, so they automatically move and add to a lot of the danger. But, obviously, we have found ourselves to one of the bonus levels. A very easy bonus level if you're quick enough. Basically, you just want to ride it all the way to the right and then jump all the way back to the left and just kind of get them as you go without panicking too much. Also for this world, those guys, they move a lot faster now. There's also a secret here, which uses a tactic we haven't done in a long time. If you throw Kiddy Kong up, he will slam open the hole in the ground, and that gets us a bear coin. We haven't actually used that since, I think, like, the second world in the game, so it's just kind of funny and telling how they had this idea with Kiddy Kong, yeah, if you throw him, he can break through hard surfaces, and then they never really used it again outside of the second world of the first two worlds of the game, until now, the end of the game, and for a coin. It's not really an important ability at the end of it all. I can't believe I missed the bird. Oh well. It doesn't really have anything valuable, I'm sure. Now again, they did change the running speeds of these enemies and the speeds of a fair number of enemies in the final world to reflect, you know, the difficulty you're dealing with. And again, I've said this a million times, but that's kind of Rare's Rare's signature move in the Donkey Kong Country movies with enemies, where they may not necessarily have variety of enemies for every single level of the game, but in tweaking enemy behavior, they can add a little bit of variety. Now for this bonus level, it's very easy. You just want to be jumping up and down between the two conveyor belts, and you'll have more than enough time to get everything. Like, you don't even have to specifically go after the presents, I mean the green bananas, you just have to, you know, be riding back and forth. Also, I meant to restart the game so that we wouldn't have, like, the Christmassy music playing again, but oh well, I guess we're gonna have it for, you know, the end of the game. It doesn't really hurt anybody. And now we're gonna jump over here, fight against the rolling, or the conveyor belt, and that'll bring us over here. So far, we've had some pretty good luck with this level, and by luck, I mean skill. Purely, I mean skill. If you come down here, there's an extra 2 life. I think that bird that we spared earlier had the bird we spared earlier had the letter that we were looking for. So for this coin, you basically have to do exactly what you saw there. Throw the keg, jump on the rope, and then let it carry you back so that the keg hits the coin and gets you the coin. But it's a lot easier if you just throw the thing up, so you don't have to worry as much. Throw the keg up so it bounces slower, and, you know, it'll be a lot easier to do that way. Let's go to Baffle's code room. Hey there, Kongs. How are you doing? My name's Baffle, the master of code. I've got a problem at the moment. I can't break a code I've been working on. Maybe I should reflect on it. Reflect. That's a very strong hint that the game is giving you. Now, you might remember at the end of the last episode, we went to Barter's swap shop and he was talking about how he, you know, looked a lot better now that he has the mirror. And then he wouldn't give it to us back, so we're gonna go and see if we can get that back from him. Hello, Barter.
Hey, Kongs, do you want your mirror back?
Well, it is mine.
Well, if you want it back, then it's gonna cost ya. That's right, 10 coins. Beauty doesn't come cheap, you know.
Still want it? Yes, you swindler.
Well, okay then. I was getting bored of being so neat and tidy.
What a terrible bear. But as soon as you go back into his swap shop after getting the mirror back, he's a mess again, so screw him.
Oh, look at the state of me again. As soon as I sold that mirror, I fell into the pond.
I know these bear voices are inconsistent. It's just hard to remember them all across characters who are mostly the same. But now that we've got the mirror back, we're going back to KAOS Kore, taking the road up here, and going back to Baffle's code room now that we have the mirror to show him. This code is really bugging me. Perhaps I'm looking this thing the wrong way around. Hey Kongs, is that a mirror you've got there? If it is, could I have it to solve my code? Hey, look at this. It was a riddle written backwards. It says to open the gate at the 2 stones make 8. Well, what do you reckon that means? Can you figure this one out, Kongs? I like how the figure is also in quotes if it wasn't clear enough. A figure 8 around the 2 rocks. Well, I'll let you stew on that and not give the answer away until we beat this level, Creepy Caverns. And we find ourselves back at another Caverns level. This one has a lot of crumples in it, so that's going to be some nice Kremling representation, but they're not the main gimmick of this level. The main gimmick of this level are ghost barrels. Barrels that kind of phase in and out, kind of like the ghost ropes from Donkey Kong Country 2 in, I forget what it was named exactly, but it was one of the Haunted Woods levels. And this is kind of a nice logical extension of them. It's not a gimmick I hate, but it isn't a gimmick I'm super fond of either, because a lot of it involves, as you can see, waiting around. Now you might argue, and it is fair to argue, that a lot of platforming involves sharp timing and good timing and all that, and you could say yes, that this is an extension of that, but in this case, in the case of this level, I know we just began it, but I kind of have that issue with this level in that a lot of it is just waiting around for the right barrel to appear. Or, just getting the timing right, and I don't mind that so much, but when it's here, and they're shooting back and forth, and in the case of that one, I think that one is actually random, so it's a little harder to get what you're looking for. By the way, yes, you have to roll under there in order to get over here, I'm pretty sure, to get the bonus barrel. But yeah, it's just not a gimmick I'm terribly fond of when a lot of it amounts to waiting for the barrel to spawn the way you want it to. At the very least, it's not too bad in levels in this bonus level, where you kind of have, it spawns in a little faster, but it's still kind of I want that extra ornament. And there we go. Back into the level proper. It puts us on the right side of that barrel so we can continue on and avoid the buzz. The barrels will start becoming more erratic and blinking in a little more quickly and dangerously. It's really interesting that they started putting a lot of these enemies in the final levels of the game. I mean, it makes sense. Now that we're in KAOS Kore, the heart of the Kremling operations, we're starting to see the actual Kremlings a little bit more. So that's it's good, but I would prefer if there were more Kremlings in the game, period, because there's just not a lot of them compared to the previous 2 games, which is a bit of a downer. But I digress. As you can see, we have Squitter now, which means we'll be able to make webs of our own. So we're going to be wanting to come up here, but the gimmick here is you have to time your jumps so you don't get fired down. And it's a little bit annoying, but not terribly hard. Now we gotta find the coin with Squitter on our side. Again, it's really interesting that for the final worlds of the game, it just so happens to be the case that they're giving you more... sorry for the slow talking, I'm just trying to focus a little easier. For the final worlds of the game, they're more prone to giving you the animals in boxes than they are in transformation barrels, particularly given that the animal transformations are more dangerous than the animal riding buddies, because riding the animal buddies, as I'm going to say for like the 50 millionth time, gives you an extra hit, whereas animal transformations don't give you that bonus. We'll just smash that guy against him. Jump down here. Now I know I've complained about this level and not entirely liking it, but we have been getting through it at a pretty good clip. So that's been nice. I'm pretty sure that this is the exact same puzzle that they had before. If you do have a little bit of trouble with the timing, Dixie's hair twirl is a lifesaver. It's great. So I guess that's also one of my other issues with this level, is it kind of reuses a lot of the same beats. So we want to throw that up and ride that like that. Unfortunately, it is a little bit tricky to get it at the timing we want. Okay, so this is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. It would be nice if it just kind of dropped slowly, but clearly that is not the case. But it's okay, because we did manage to get that DK coin fairly easily. See, like barrels like this, it's just kind of wasting your time waiting for it to point the right way, and it's not even really a threat, because if it shoots you off in one of the other directions, it doesn't really harm you, so there's no risk there. Even though there are other barrels that do actually threaten you quite badly, like these ones. Rolling and doing other things is definitely your friend here. I'm not sure why there's like a rolly thing down there, but I'm not going to explore it because we've gotten everything we can in this level. So we're going to call it there, and give the win to Kiddy Kong, because why not? And so, with Creepy Caverns completed, we can now move into the water and show you what exactly they meant by making 8 with 2. And how do you figure we do that, huh? With a figure 8. And that'll open up the sewer stockpile. What's the sewer stockpile? You can probably guess. It's another bird puzzle. Okay, so this is a pretty long one, so I might get it wrong. But thankfully, since they kept most of the blinks to the top one, it was pretty easy to do that. So even though it was long, it wasn't too hard. So I'm grateful for that. And Lightning Lookout is our next level, and it's quite a fun level, but let me check the time to see if we have time to do that. You know, we probably could, but I don't think I'm going to be chancing it this time around. I think I'm going to call it there, because that seems like a good stopping point for today, and for today's episode. So yeah, we'll talk more about KAOS Kore and move on to Lightning Lookout in the next level. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye!